Welcome back again to your home for heavy metal news and commentary, Brain Pro Metal Talk. Let's get right into it.
Having a full live band is just a completely different sound.
To me, it's all about live.
Absolutely.
One of my biggest peeves in the world, and I'm on this soapbox, is I cannot deal with rock bands playing to tracks. I just think it's ridiculous. It's over the top. It's become, I think back like when in Saturday Night Live, when, who was it? Ashley Simpson. Remember when she got caught singing to the track on SNL? And there was this big outrage, right? And that's pop music. Now, pop music, it's commonplace. It's just accepted.
Right.
I just don't think we can let that happen in rock. And I'm seeing it happen in rock. And it's ridiculous to me. It's like, what is the variable of whether you had a good show or not if everything was on tracks?
Right.
I can't play a note or sing a note, but I'm going to put a band together if everyone's accepting people lip syncing and singing the tracks.
Well, sometimes the coolest things is hearing your favorite bands. You go to a show, you hear recordings or whatever, and the mess ups, and how they get through it and they laugh.
That's what live music is. That's what live rock is.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not talking about if you have one or two songs that have a keyboard in it and you're not going to carry a player. I get that. I'm just talking about some of these bands that are like, the lead vocal. It's like Memorex. They're like, are you kidding me? Like, what am I paying for?
That's the beauty of the Alice Cooper live show, I think, because we don't even play to a click. Like, we don't have anything on tape except for certain intros and outros, like, the Frankenstein.
Which I'm fine with all that. I get that.
But, like, once the song starts, Glenn, for the most part, Glenn Sobel, our drummer, doesn't even have a click track in his ears. There's no tape. There's no background vocals. There's no lead vocal. There's no way for us to run a click even if we wanted to. They're not even set up for it. It's straight up old school. Everything you're hearing is being played and sung live on the stage.
And what a great band the Alice band is, with, of course, you included as well. But everybody in there is just phenomenal. I've seen it so many times. I mean, a three-headed guitar attack there with Ryan and Tommy, and it's so killer. And it's amazing. Now, I imagine you have a window to promote your album Controlled Chaos, which we'll talk about here. But you have this window to do this because Alice is doing Hollywood Vampires now, right?
Exactly. I think they just got home today. I think, or in the last couple of days. So Alice is out with Vampires right now, or has just finished with Vampires. So we've got a month or so left, and then we'll start the Alice Cooper tour for the rest of the year.
Which is with Hailstorm, right?
We've got Hailstorm most of the summer, which is, I'm so excited for that because Lizzie, I feel like, is the great powerhouse female vocalist of our generation. The band is so awesome. We just played with them in Mexico City a couple weeks ago, and they were just firing on all cylinders. So we're coming...
WWE.
Yeah, Lizzie and I did WWE Evolution together also back in August of last year. And now getting to tour with them over the summer is going to be a blast. And I think we're coming here.
Yeah, I love that band. I mean, I love Hailstorm. I mean, obviously, I love Alice, and Alice is a legend. We all know that. But Hailstorm, I think it's a really unique bill too. Honestly, I'm going to be really curious to see how it works because I think Hailstorm is a great rock band, and I agree with everything you said about Lizzie. She was actually one of the people that privately, grabbed me once at a festival, and she's just like, I just got asked to go up and sing with this band, and the band said they can't do it because their tracks aren't loaded in. What the fuck is that? And I'm like, hell yeah, that's the real deal. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works because Alice's thing is such. Obviously, there's all. You see it, all generations of fans, people bring their kids, whatever. But it also is, very much rooted in classic rock, where Hailstorm, although Lizzie's always been, and all of Hailstorm, very deferential to all the classic stuff she grew up with, covering all that stuff. Those audiences, it's going to be interesting to see how that works.
It will be. I think it'll work better than some people might think because I think it's pretty common knowledge out there by now. Most of you guys listening probably know this, that they're redoing the Alice show for this year. So we are not trotting out the same set list as we've been doing since I've been in the band. There is a complete revamp of the show happening as we speak. Everything is going to be different from the set lists to the look of the show to the stage and all the stuff that we have going on. So I've gotten some sneak peeks. I have not gotten the final set list yet, but from what I'm understanding, I think it's going to work really, really well with this tour that we have coming up.
Is there any interactive moment between the two bands? Do you know, like Lizzie coming out with Alice or vice versa? Has that been talked about?
Not with me. But again,
Right.
I'm sort of low on the totem pole as far as those discussions go. I did actually text Lizzie, because we did a song together for WWE, and I did text her and say, "Hey, do you want to pull that out at one of the shows? So maybe we can do that."
So what's the connection between, like, when I saw you play, last time I saw you play was with Alice at the theater in Jersey by my house, and Mick Foley was there.
That's right.
And now I have not been and don't know anything about wrestling. I'll be honest with you. When I was a kid, I was way into it,
Right.
but I was a kid a long time ago. So I know it's huge now. But are you just a fan of it and integrated into it through that, or what is your connection to the WWE?
I'm a huge fan. Josh, of course, also is a big fan, grew up watching it. And, it's such a natural integration, I think, between rock and wrestling. The fans are really similar, super passionate, super hardcore about what they like. And myself, as a big WWE fan, I think when I started doing stuff with wrestling, the fans really accepted me because they know I'm a fan too. And same thing with the Alice fans and rock fans. If you see someone out there working hard that's one of you, you're going to get into it and support them. So the whole time, everything we've done with WWE has just been a dream. They're an amazing company, like so cool to work with, and I hope we do more stuff together in the future.
They do a lot of cool things with bands. Even from WrestleMania 1, they've always tried to add, like Cyndi Lauper was there, and I think Aretha Franklin opened up WrestleMania 1. So they always try to integrate, music and rock into with what they do, and they've developed such a huge platform, with their fan base, and throughout WrestleMania's past and other big events, they try to get rock bands to play, which is pretty cool. It's really cool for a platform to have bands, play the new people.
Well, there's a lot, obviously there's a lot of bands that would love to be able to do that because it's such a huge audience and such a rabid audience. So as a musician, especially you continuing to build your career and be out there selling a solo record, it's a great a platform to be seen. But how do you pull that off? I'm sure everyone in the world is coming at them. Did you have an in? Did you have a way to accomplish that?
It's amazing. It really is amazing. And they even have a program called NXT Loud, which is NXT is WWE's developmental brand where they build up young wrestlers to come up to their main roster. And they do NXT Loud and have, up and coming bands do theme songs for their pay-per-views. So they've had, I had a song for the LA pay-per-view. They've had Motionless in White and Hailstorm and Asking Alexandria. Like they have these up and coming hard rock bands and give them that platform. So it is incredible to see what they do with it.
And on the manager side of the things, like all the things I've worked on with Nita, to get, going with her career, I think the biggest moment that I saw like this eyelid change of people, the way they perceived her, the way they saw her, was when she played WrestleMania. It was insane. Mm-hmm. It was like overnight, just people completely saw her different, opened up so many doors. It was, we're really thankful to the WWE.
But how do you get to, like, in other words, 1 million people listening right now with bands would love to be able to say they played WrestleMania. Yeah. Obviously you're talented and all that. I'm not trying to diminish that, but there's a lot of talented people that would love that. Did you have an in? Did you call in a favor? They just like you? What happened?
I woke up literally in January. WrestleMania was that April. I woke up. I looked at Nita and I said, "You're going to play WrestleMania this year, and you're going to play Shinsuke Nakamura out. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to figure it out."
That's a wrestler?
That's a wrestler.
That's the wrestler whose theme I played at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And it was really just the sort of the same approach you would take to anything, any goal in life. You just go at it. You work your hardest. You prepare to have door after door after door slammed in your face. One door closed on us. Josh kicked down another one. That one closed, and we knocked another one. And finally, with the help of some key people, we were able to get my audition tape in front of the right people. And
so you have to audition to play WrestleMania.
Let me rephrase that. It wasn't so much an audition, but Josh felt so strongly about this happening. He's like, we need to get you playing. We need to get some visual of you playing in front of the right people. So we were sending videos of me playing different songs, saying like, hey, would you be interested in anything like this? And then when WWE contacted us, they said, we have this amazing vision. We have this thought for what we want this entrance to look like that would work so well with what you do, with this work. And I think a lot of those mega talented bands that would want to do that, you have to also think of the performance aspect and how it's going to look live and how it, not just be able to play the song well, but be able to give the fans like that huge rock star guitar moment that they want. Give them the over the top, the performance and the moves and all that. So that's where that all came in.
And it was we had that call of, yes, we want this to happen, probably about 10 days before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we actually booked a plane ticket a month beforehand. And Nita's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I said, "Listen, something's going to happen. I just feel it, and we have to be there."
Well, what do you got? Ed's a big wrestling fan, my
No, I
producer.
found that audio.
Oh, if this is Nita playing at the WrestleMania
At
thing?
WrestleMania, I have it here.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit of it.
All right, hang on one sec.
I'm assuming there's video as well, but this
There
being
is.
radio, we're just, live? Were you
It was
actually
live.
playing?
Oh,
you
yeah.
really were?
No tracks.
We don't do anything on
Well,
tape
no,
around
let's see.
here.
No, but I understand, like in a setting like that,
course.
you're playing a minute and it's a stadium and you can't mic it the right way. I get there's exceptions, but you actually played.
This was live. We had in-ears going. I ran a direct guitar signal through a pedal board, no amp, no feedback. And yeah,
Sounds
we did
great.
it live. Thank you.
Sounds great. The tone sounds great. That's why I asked if it was really, really live. It sounds killer.
Thank you.
So, were you assigned to that wrestler, or was that the guy you wanted to do?
That was their vision. That was WWE's idea. You know, Josh was the first one to say, I feel like this is what's going to happen. And then when WWE contacted us, they had just the exact parallel vision to what he had in mind.
Well, it's cool. A year before that, she got into that wrestler. She saw his theme on TV, and there was a keyboard left there, and she posted a video of her playing the theme on the keyboard. Ironically, a year before that,
I don't even play piano.
and she doesn't even play piano.
I
And
just
so-
did a little Instagram video plinking out just that melody. Dun, 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 dun. And then a year later, I was playing it at the Saints Arena at the
Superdome.
at the Superdome.
That's where that was,
At the
Superdome.
Yeah.
So 85,000 there, and then millions watching.
Biggest biggest live crowd you've ever been in front of, Nita?
No, not the biggest. I think the biggest has been with Alice at, Vakken, Open Air, and Rock in Rio and that stuff. That's still, I think, about 150,000 at those. So,
But tell them how the energy rush was different from playing.
I mean, the
show.
thing about the difference between WrestleMania, an event like WrestleMania, and an event like Download Festival or Rock in Rio or Vakken is, at those festivals, you get the most passionate fans. At Vakken, you get the most passionate European fans. At Download, you get the most passionate, British fans. But WrestleMania is the only event that I've ever been a part of where you get the most passionate fans from all over the world. Everybody travels, 20, 30 countries come and converge on this one city. And it's the people that are the most passionate about this sport. So the energy in there was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch right now. You don't know. But there's a female wrestler right now who's on top of the world. And I like trailblazers. I like, strong women that are making an impact in what would normally be a man's world. And she's definitely doing that.
Eddie, she's the man.
She's the man.
Is that her tagline?
That is her tagline.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah, she's the man.
Although, I'm happy that Bailey won
I know.
Money in the Bank.
I'm just going to sit back and let you guys because I don't. Unless we're going to start talking about Ivan Putski, I'm out because that was my era of wrestling.
I could take or leave Lesnar. Really don't care.
Yeah.
Bailey winning, even though they should have gotten Charlotte to her feet before they rang the bell for that match.
Hold on.
What you're talking
We
about.
were on stage last night while this happened. So
We haven't fully
we
seen
haven't watched it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I
It's
knew what
spoilers.
happened. No, I knew what happened because you can't
So how
go
did
on
Game
the
of Thrones
internet.
end
No.
while you're at it?
We already talked about that.
I talked about it. I had no problem with it. I thought the whole last season was great, but people just seem to want to bitch about something. It seems like.
Yes.
Do you? Let me ask you this about your love of wrestling. Now you're still young. You're in great shape. When I see you on the road, you're always doing your jogging and you're running and working out and stuff.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider actually doing it, getting in the ring?
Never say never. But the only thing with me and anything physical like that is I make my living with my hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as much as I would love to get in there and take a bump or two, I always imagine worst case scenario, I go in, I don't know what I'm doing, I fall and I break my wrist and I can't do an Alice tour or something. It would be the stupidest thing.
But maybe since it's pro wrestling and you can pretty much do anything, you could write something where your character is whereas I don't know, some sort of bricks or protecting things on your whole forearm. So
Yeah.
you could deflect people with that. I don't know.
Totally.
There is a long and storied history of people smashing guitars over
Yes.
other wrestlers.
Really?
Totally.
Oh, yes.
God,
The Honky Tonk Man,
There you go.
Elias.